What's up, Internet? Joe Nolan, Tom Brawley here for the Point Spread, fantasypoints.com and YouTube. Tom, I just got out of the shower, so my rosy red cheeks,
nice.
Which my red cheeks.
You're looking extra sweaty for the broadcast.
Which are extra red. They're red anyway, but extra red here for the broadcast. But hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Joe Dolan. That's Tom Brawley here for the Point Spread live stream. We do this each and every Friday at 5 p.m. on fantasypoints.com. Obviously, we're free right now here. We have some congratulations to go out for one Benjamin Buchanis. Just for some reason or another, was deemed worthy enough to bring a human being into this world.
Took 48 hours. They were thinking like, maybe we make them wait a little bit longer here, but finally, the bundle of joy finally came. So, congrats to Ben. Thanks to Chris Lee running the show here for the next couple of weeks, or next week or so. If you'll be seeing any of our live streams.
Hey,
Chris
Ben, I'm
doing
all
the
about,
action behind the.
I'm all about parental leave here, but we're a small
1 week. Holy crap! 1 week. Can you imagine, Joe?
We're a small mom and pop shop here. No, obviously, congratulations to him. Congratulations, and hello to everybody who's out there listening for the first time, watching for the first time. I am sorry. I have had this thing, Tom. I did the Fantasy Pros podcast this week, and I got something in my eye right at the beginning of the live stream, and I was looking like damn Adam Gase for the entire live stream, like trying to wiggle it out of my eye, like from his introductory press conference, and his eyes were like bugging out of his head.
Yeah. That's the thing with these live streams; they're live, so you can't
and we can't have
do a second take, disappear here for like 2 minutes and get like eye drops in my eyes. So I hope you are able to gut it out here for the next hour, Joe.
I don't know why people pivoted to video. It's the worst decision of all time. Anyway, let's get going, Tom. And what we do here is, it's pretty cut and dry. It's called the Point Spread. We go through the spreads, we go through the props, and we give some recommendations, and we just talk about the games, injuries, Tom. Fortunately, it seems like some of these late week injuries that popped up aren't a huge deal. But we'll get to them as we go. And let's start. We're going to use DraftKings Sportsbook. Shut up, Seymour.
Oh yeah, he's fired up somewhere. Yeah. He's been a good dog so far this year. Of course, our first one's live to everybody out there. He wants to be an internet superstar here.
Yeah. All right. Let's get it going. Buffalo at the Jets. Tom, we're using DraftKings Sportsbook for these, by the way. Buffalo laying 12.5 on the road, over under a 47.5. Mike White is starting for the Jets. It looks like there's a chance Zach Moss plays for the Bills, which means the Bills' only rushing prop up right now is for Josh Allen.
Yeah, it was kind of unexpected because I start looking at these props during the afternoon here, and it was Singletary props up. So I think they were kind of thinking that Moss didn't really have a chance to play, and then it kind of sounds like they're leaving the door open here. Must have made some progress through the protocol here late in the week, so he's got a chance, and they need to get that running game going here a little bit.
He wasn't wearing a non-contact jersey today, Tom, so he was in full gear. Yeah, Zach Moss.
That's huge then. So that means he probably is probably just needs to get that final clearance to play on Sunday. This line's been interesting. It was kind of sitting 13.5 pretty much all week, and then the Mike White news came out yesterday. It's always kind of the feeling that he was going to play, but he did have that forearm injury that he couldn't play through it on Thursday Night Football last week, and offenses looked pretty good under him. I mean, he was the check down guy 2 weeks ago, but it was only one drive against the Colts. But, he was making some nice second level, third level throws against the Colts secondary here. So there was a little bit of buyback. This got down to like 11 at some places earlier this on Thursday there, but it looks like there's been some buyback here with the Bills. Not surprised here. I don't know if it probably settles in this like 13-point range. I'm leaning toward that side. I think they can have the potential to be a little bit frisky here. A little bit concerned about the Bills' offensive line right now. Just they're struggling a little bit here, but this is the one spot to get right for any running back or running game right now is against this Jets run defense. It's they're giving up the most fantasy points per game, and they're just getting out of the trend right now. So Yeah, this game's probably just going to settle right here at that 13. I actually kind of maybe look towards the over 47 and a half, depending on the Jets have been certainly pretty willing to give up production, and with Mike White at quarterback, they have a little bit of fight. So I kind of lean towards the over on the total there.
Any props you liked from this one?
Yeah, I didn't see any props on this one that really stood out. It was kind of a limited market earlier today when I started looking at everything. I'll probably go back and take a second look on this game, but I was looking at maybe some of the rushing props, but nothing that really stood out in this game. So,
all right,
I'll give a second look.
Yeah, let's go to our next game here. Hold on, Tom. My sportsbook app has absolutely just taken a crap. Of course, here we go. Tampa Bay and Washington. Tampa Bay -9.5 on the road. Over under a 51 as the Bucs, who, I mean, Tom, they're down Antonio Brown, they're down Rob Gronkowski. Chris Godwin is a game time decision. So there's a lot of questions here for the Buccaneers, but they are still laying 9.5 on the road.
Yeah, I was surprised. I gave this out at 9.5 on Monday morning. I thought for sure it's here this week. But, I mean, they're the rare team that came out of a bye week, and they weren't any healthier. The Chris Godwin's banged up. Yeah, as you said, Antonio Brown, Rob not coming back. I don't know if we've seen anything on the final availability of the cornerbacks there. I think Murphy Bunting and was trending towards coming back, but this is just kind of surprising that a team coming out of they get a little more banged up coming out. So this line's kind of set at 9.5. I still like the Buccaneers side. They got kind of humbled the last time they were out against the Saints. Nobody. I mean, it was a possibility. The Saints defense had played them well last year, but to the extent that it was kind of a domination again. So, this football team, they didn't get any healthier either. It looked like Logan Thomas might rejoin, but he's apparently a couple more weeks away. So I'm leaning towards the Buccaneers side. Obviously, I gave that out as a best bet. I wish I would have gotten some more guys healthy this week for the Buccaneers, but still looking at that -9.5 right now.
Any props that you liked from this game? I mean, we're looking at the receiving props. The only one up for the Bucs is really Mike Evans. Antonio Gibson's got. Forget about it. I'm not doing anything with Antonio Gibson unless it's an under. Maybe he's healthy, but it's a terrible matchup.
Yeah, he's still listed on the injury report and stuff this week. So that's not a great sign. You were hoping that maybe that 2-week break there, he would come back a little bit healthier. But, I'll probably be looking at that under 46.5. We got a lot of Jarrett Patterson. This is, I don't want any part of a Gibson, over prop right now. Yeah. So that's one that kind of stands out here. These props weren't really out when I started looking this afternoon, and I kind of, that one really stands out, under 46.5. So, I'll shop around, see if there's any better numbers out there, but definitely leaning towards the under against this run defense. And you think that this game was skewed towards the passing game, so for the football team here. So I'm gonna look at that under for 46.5 on Gibson.
I'm seeing a 30.5 for Ricky Seals-Jones, which seems a little light to me with Logan Thomas still not playing.
Yeah, I kind of like that as well. I mean, he did. I can't remember who they were going against. I think it was Denver, I guess, right before their bye. He kind of had a dud in that game, but he was pretty good before that, the first 3 games without Logan Thomas. So that's, as we said, probably gonna skew a little bit more towards a pass-heavy scheme for them. Yeah, that's the way the Buccaneers always are. It's not just the spread here. Nobody really tries to run too much on the Buccaneers. So, yeah, I would look towards the over on that one.
All right, let's go to our next contest, which is Atlanta at Dallas. Dallas is giving 8 at home. Interesting. 54.5 is the highest over-under of the week. Dallas now all of a sudden is really banged up. Both sides of the football. They had to put Randy Gregory on IR. Tyron Smith is not going to play. Dallas still laying 8 at home against an Atlanta team. Tom, you used the word frisky earlier. Well, this Atlanta team qualifies, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a surprise result last week. They go into New Orleans and, they were throwing it all over the field on them. The offense looked anemic against Carolina the week before. Still a bit worried here, though. We got, a pretty thin receiving core without Calvin Ridley on the field. Teams have been trying to take out, Kyle Pitts. I wonder if we'll see a little Trayvon Diggs on him here this week. Wouldn't be surprised there, but I'm with you, Joe. Matt Ryan's playing at a pretty high level here. Yeah, I mean, he was making some big time throws last week. I'm looking at the board here. I mean, there's still some not that there's a huge difference between 8 and 9.5, but there's some nicer numbers out there for the Falcons. This is one of the higher total games on the board here, sitting around 54 points. So. I'm leaning towards the Falcons side in this game.
Props interesting to you, Tom. The Cowboys, no CeeDee Lamb on the. I mean, he doesn't have a game day designation. Obviously, neither does Prescott. Neither does Amari Cooper. So they seem to be getting healthier. But Prescott last week looked a little jumpy. Didn't look himself. And Tyron Smith isn't available. The Falcons could get Dante Fowler back this week as well.
Yeah, not a great combination there. Tyron Smith's going to be out again, and could get some reinforcements on the defensive line for Atlanta here this week. I did take Russell Gage under 53.5. Just seemed like it's already down to 51.5 at DraftKings. It looks like just like a bit of a high number. Russell Gage is a kind of an underneath receiver. He's not a explosive big play type of guy. So, with a number like that, he's probably going to have to get 5 or 6 catches. And, just 2 weeks ago, he didn't have a catch. He was certainly more active last week, but they're working in Tajay Sharp and Zacchaeus and Hayden Hurst here. So there's multiple people factoring into this passing game right now. I don't think Gage is a lock to get like 7 or 8 targets, which is probably what he's going to have to do to get over this this total here. So that was one that kind of stood out to me.
9, 10, 11. I don't think I've seen a game this year, Tom, have this many receiving props listed. There's 12 players listed.
This one took me a while to go through. I like to check out each individual player. Yeah, it's passing games on both sides here. We don't even have Michael Gallup on the board here. He's expected to return. So it's, we got multiple backs on each team that have a receiving prop. This is like the, outside of Tyron Smith, his game on the board, I guess. So that's why they have a whole bevy of props here up on a Friday afternoon. So plenty to pick from here. I like the Russell Gage one the best though. His number at 53.5, but it's down to 51.5. Maybe you can look around. Maybe there's still some a little bit higher numbers there.
The Saints and the Titans. The Saints are catching 2.5 on the road, over under a 44. We had a real scare today when Ryan Tannehill didn't practice, Tom, but it's an illness, non-COVID related. He will play on Sunday. He has no game day designation. But once again, Julio Jones pops up on the injury report with a hamstring. He's questionable. You are braver than me if you play Julio Jones for fantasy this week. Trevor Siemian will start for the Saints, who will not have Alvin Kamara. Tom, I am showing no rushing props in this game.
Yeah, I don't blame them. They're probably going to wait to see what exactly plays out here. I mean, it certainly seems like Mark Ingram goes from being on the Texans a couple of weeks ago to being the top guy. And, I mean, he could be in for a bell cow role here this week with Kamara being out. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen him be in that role. But, I mean, that's where we currently sit. So I'm actually surprised. We talk about running backs. They don't matter, blah, blah, blah. Kamara is one that does, and this line still minus 2.5. I don't think it's going to stay there. BetMGM has moved to -3. If you want that last chance to get a Titans minus 2.5, this is your last call here on a Friday evening here, because I'm going to guess that this is painted 3 across the board, maybe 3.5 even. Once the anti-Kamara money starts coming in, I'm just kind of surprised anyway. The Titans had kind of the marquee victory last week on Sunday Night Football. I thought there would be a little bit more support, but I guess maybe people are wise to thinking maybe their offense, just hasn't, it wasn't like they won the game because of their offense last week. It was all defensive plays. Still some question marks about that running game with Patterson and McNichols and Foreman. So, I see this line getting a 3. So if you're thinking about betting this game and you want the best number, you probably should get the 2.5 now if you're betting the Titans.
Well, the thing with the Titans is they've had a lot of huge victories and a lot of letdown spots, and they haven't let down yet. It's kind of weird in that regard. They come out and they win. Maybe
this is finally the one, Joe. They've been the underdogs in all those games. This is the finally the first spot where they're expected to win here. So maybe this is the I picked the Titans for ATS purposes for the poll, for the polls, but I don't have a really strong conviction on this one. I could see the Saints. The Saints have one of the better offensive lines in the league. They have a little more beef and athleticism to kind of neutralize Simmons and that Tennessee Titans defensive line that they changed the game last week. 5 sacks and two big they forced 2 picks deep in the Rams' own territory there. So maybe that kind of gets neutralized here, but
Tom's internet is struggling. I understand that. So we'll Tom, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, all right. You cut out for a little bit there. Any props that interested you in this one?
No, there was nothing really on the board yet for this game. So this is one I'll circle back to next on Sunday there.
Yeah. All right, Tom. Yeah, get your shit together over there. See, must be chewing on the cables or something.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, we had the big Comcast outage today. I mean, not today, this week. So maybe
Tuesday there.
Yeah. We got Jacksonville at Indy. Jacksonville is getting 10 points on the road. 47.5 the total. Indy a 10-point favorite against Jacksonville. Jacksonville will have Trevor Lawrence, and though there is no prop for him, the Jaguars are expected to have James Robinson back.
Yeah, it looks like it. He was kind of looking like he was trending toward playing last week, so looks like he's a full go this week. I took the Colts early in the week. This line is kind of just sat in that 10.5 range. Not a whole lot of action on it, so I kind of like the way the Colts have been playing offensively here the last 4 or 5 weeks. Averaging 34 points a game, and this is the Jaguars certainly played well against the Bills last week, but I don't think this is all of a sudden a shutdown unit. I think that was more on the Bills, their own struggles, generating generating a running game and protecting Josh Allen last week. So I think the Colts, this is a spot where they can dominate. They've been, had a nice 10-day layoff. I mean, we saw them go right down the field and score 6 of the first 7 drives that they had against the Jets last week, and feels like this could be a similar type of spot against the Jaguars. But we'll see. Their secondary, they let the Jets back into that game, and we'll see if Jaguars have any kind of friskiness in this one. If Trevor Lawrence can get like the likes of Marvin Jones and Laviska Shenault and Jamal Agnew going at all. This passing game has kind of struggled here since DJ Chark left the lineup.
Yeah, and now you might think, this is a great spot for Jonathan Taylor. Most are. 90.5 is the prop for him, Tom, but the Jaguars have actually been kind of feisty as a run defense this year.
Yeah, I don't think people would realize that. I mean, they're giving up under 4 yards a carry, and it's a pretty good group here, and they completely shut down the Buffalo Bills last week, and they were giving them issues in pass protection as well. So I would lean towards it. I mean, this might be one of those. It seems like Marlon Mack has been kind of phased out here. They should be playing from ahead here as 10-point favorites, but not as easy of a task as one might think, trying to slow down. This Jacksonville Jaguars run defense has been pretty strong here all season long.
What do you got on the props beyond that? I'm not seeing anything that stands out to me except maybe Dan Arnold, 43.5. This guy has been a legitimate fantasy option here and has been putting up some numbers.
Yeah, he's been really active and a lot of targets. I think he's led them in target share the last 2 games here. Been very active here. So this is a game. There was no props up earlier today either. I didn't really get a good look at. Looking at it, Michael Pittman's number at 63.5, but I guess it kind of looks like T.Y. Hilton might be back in the mix. So I'll probably lay off of that because of that situation. But it's kind of tough with these Colts. They like to spread the ball around so much. I'm not seeing anything first look here, but. Jeez, I would love to take some of these Jaguars receiving props. I mean, the Colts secondary has not played very well recently, but I don't know who to trust from these receivers right now. It's kind of Jamal Agnew, but even his number is pretty, at a number I wouldn't really like to go, 39.5. So probably I'll give it a second look, dive a little deeper on Sunday, but nothing that really. I'll dig a little deeper on that Pittman number. Yeah. It does seem like it's sitting kind of low, but we'll see how much. It looks like Hilton will be back in the lineup here. So if that takes away a couple, a target or two, that number isn't nearly as appealing.
Detroit at Pittsburgh. Detroit getting 7.5 in Pittsburgh, 42.5 the total. No Jamal Williams for Detroit. No Chase Claypool for Pittsburgh. There was a brief, weird Najee Harris scare. He was added to the injury report on Thursday with a foot injury, Tom. They canceled his media availability on Friday.
Yeah.
Which is like, apparently he's a hell of an interview. So, like, the media was talking about they look forward to it. And they're like, uh-oh. And there's no designation whatsoever. Najee Harris, full practice, he's going to play. So, it looks like Chase Claypool, the only really injury that we got to watch. Well, not watch, he's out. But that's the only one we really got to deal with for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there was some tense moments there. I mean, we're already losing Kamara this week. Oh, yeah. I mean, if we would have lost Kamara and Najee this week, holy crap. Like, this has been a fantasy season from hell, and then we would lose those 2 guys. So at least we got Najee, apparently healthy enough to be taken off the injury report here. This line, I mean, I don't know about you, Joe. I follow the Steelers very close. Yeah. I'm not laying more than like 3 points with the Steelers in any game right now. They can't win by margin. We saw what that Bears game, they had it kind of locked away, and they, did just enough to let the Bears back into it. And they even took the lead there and took them a last minute drive there to get the game winning field goal. But I do not trust the Steelers. The last time we saw the lines, it was horrific against the Eagles, obviously.
Oh yeah,
44-6. But this is more of a spot where I just can't trust, laying a pretty sizable number with the Steelers right now. Steelers are better off in underdog role or, as a small favorite here. I'll be looking towards grabbing 8.5. I see at FanDuel. 7.5 is mostly the number at most other books, but you can go get that 8.5 at FanDuel right now.
Deontay Johnson, 72.5 with no Chase Claypool. Deandre Swift is sitting at 40.5 receiving yards and 49.5 rushing yards. I know the Steeler, run defense can be pretty good, but there's no Jamal Williams in this game. So I don't know if you had any props that really interested you, Tom. I'm actually looking at a couple here that kind of look interesting to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I got grabbed 2 on the Detroit side. TJ Hawkinson's number, I think it's been on quite the rise here. I got it 50.5, this afternoon. I think it's up to 53.5, 54.5 last I looked. But yeah, I also like the Deandre Swift over 13.5 carries. Like I said, I think this is going to be kind of a one-score game throughout. I think. I could kind of see Dan Campbell going into the bye. We need to get the run going. we got to get this offense going through the running game. I could see Deandre Swift being a little bit more involved there. He got to 12 carries last week, and 2 weeks ago, and they lost by 38 points to the Eagles.
Yeah.
So they were still feeding carries to Deandre Swift.
Oh, and they pulled him in the fourth quarter. They went with Jamar Jefferson and Ikwe Bike. Godwin Ikwe Bike.
Yeah, did Paul struggle on that name on the
No, he did not. Because he is, I believe, the nephew of a kicker from the 80s who kicked for the Bucks named Ikwe Bike.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow. And Paul was all over that. You guys were all over that. So, yeah, I like that number. As you said, Swift got pulled from that game late, and he still had a 71 or 72% snap share in that game. So, I mean, if he gets the full allotment there, he's probably getting 85 to 90% of the snaps. And so I'm liking that number. He hasn't been very effective on the ground, but I think there's going to be an opportunity for a lot of carries here as the only healthy back. And then the Hawkinson, we saw Cole Kmet working over the Steelers in the middle of the field last week. They have their linebacker, their inside linebackers are really struggling in coverage right now. Hawkinson, he's one of the premier tight ends in the league. So I think the offense is going to funnel through DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson like most weeks. I think it's going to happen again this week. So looking at his over, low 50s number. I got it 50.5, but it's still 53.5, 54.5, depending on where you're looking at.
And Najee Harris is sitting there at 93.5, Tom. Obviously, the books are not at all scared because he doesn't have a game day designation.
Yeah, I was surprised. That was a hefty number for this Steelers run defense, but it is a premier matchup against the Lions. So you're gonna see high numbers against the Detroit Lions run defense.
Well, look, Tom, let's just get this over with quick because there's no props out for this game. Cleveland at New England. New England's a 2-point favorite, 45.5 the total. Nick Chubb will not play. That is official. But we still don't know about the Patriots running backs, Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris. At DraftKings Sportsbook, I am showing no props whatsoever. They haven't put them out yet.
Yeah, they're just wait-and-see mode here. So I'm surprised they haven't put any passing game props out. But, yeah, this is a game we'll be looking back here. I mean, this game, I honestly – it's like who's rushing, because these two teams rely on their rushing attacks, and whose backups do who do you rely on more here? I think, I'm going with I back the Patriots in terms of, I think, I don't know. I want no part of this freaking game. I'll just tell you that much, Joe.
Okay.
I don't have much of a feeling on the spread, the total. I mean, I guess the total, I think it's 42 and a half. So I guess I would kind of look towards the under on that. I could see this, I think both these teams are I think this could be a bit of a rock fight, but yeah, I have no strong feelings on this game. Let's go on to another one.
Yeah. So by the way, of course, this game is like, I did not want to write it up at all. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. Of course, by like ESPN's, their playoff leverage metric, this is by far the most important game of the entire weekend. So Cleveland, this slot fest is the most important game from a playoff perspective.
I totally believe it. I mean, you think about it, you got 2 5-4 teams. They're right in the AFC playoff. Whoever wins this game gets a big step up and, to potentially winning their division. A loss, could trigger things. But, this is going to be a huge game. But, yeah, this is the one that has a lot of uncertainty around it.
Minnesota at the Chargers. Minnesota is a 3-point underdog in LA, over under a 53. So this is at least on the DFS main slate, is right up there with Atlanta, Dallas, total wise. 53 is the total again, and then we have all the props. Tom, there isn't really any injuries to be concerned about here. Keenan Allen, I guess, is the one where he does have a prop, even though he's listed as questionable. So the books aren't very worried about that. And Dalvin Cook is going to play. It's for right now, it's a civil situation. I didn't know. People are like, what? People are like, when you answer fantasy questions, and you're like, what do I do? I don't fucking know. Like I am not.
Just continue to play them. We don't know. Yeah,
but I mean,
we have no idea how this situation is going to play out. We've seen the Watson situation. They haven't even stepped into that one. So, I would pick up Madison. Maybe something happens, and you continue to play Cook while you can. I would not be, leaving myself thin in a running back position. I was getting trade questions. Should I, trade this player? My next best running back Dalvin Cook. Don't leave yourself thin at the position if something happens. But so anyway, the Vikings have had a bit of a COVID situation this week, and dating back to last week. Harrison Smith was out, Bradbury was out.
Yeah,
had 29 people in close contact this week. So potentially watch something there. I jumped on the Chargers because of that situation. The line was sitting at 2.5 earlier. They're still leaning toward the 3. Looks like there's, the money is on the 3 right now. It's moving towards 3.5 at some books. BetMGM's at 3.5. So if you're looking to get on the Chargers, I would grab the 3 now. It looks like it's probably going to set at 3.5 points here. By the time game day rolls around here.
Any props that you liked from this game, Tom? I mean, obviously the Chargers are the run funnel defense in the NFL. They also have injuries in the secondary, and the Vikings, in theory, could exploit both. But I thought it funny. Clint Kubiak was like, we got to get Justin Jefferson more targets. I was like, well, Clint, you're the offensive coordinator. You can help with that, buddy. You can do that. So
you should give yourself your own advice there.
I wonder if this is a squeaky wheel game.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I'm looking at Cousins under his 268.5. I thought it was a pretty high number considering the Chargers are kind of a run funnel defense. And, I kind of like that number. It was actually came down too. It was sitting at 272.5 earlier today. And by the time I got to it, it was 268.5. I think our projections are at 235. So, the Chargers are a bit banged up in the secondary. This has the potential to shoot out a little bit, but I think this is also a spot where Zimmer probably wants to get his run game going a little bit here. So the other prop I was looking at was Jared Cook under 31.5 receiving yards.
Oh, they had a 3-man rotation.
He played in terms of snaps. Yeah, they were getting Steven Anderson involved last week. So, it was kind of Cook and Parham before, and that they worked Anderson in a little bit more here. So 3-man rotation. Minnesota's been pretty good against tight ends this season, and Cook has fallen below 30 yards in 5 of his 8 games here. So kind of like the under for Jared Cook, under 31.5.
Here's another quick one, Tom. Carolina at Arizona, 10.5. Arizona's laying 10.5. They don't know if their quarterback's going to play.
Ridiculous.
Jeez. 44.5 is the total. I know they won with Colt McCoy. 10.5, 44.5 in Arizona. The only props up are for Carolina players. Yeah,
and nothing. This was one of those games that wasn't really up this afternoon, so got to go back and take a look at it. But you're completely right here. We got 2 backup quarterbacks facing off: Colt McCoy, PJ Walker. It looks like for one week here,
he's definitely going to start
Cam Newton into the mix
this week, and Cam's going to start next week. That's the way it is. They starter money.
Oh, absolutely. They want to get him. They know any hope that they have of making the postseason. It's on Cam Newton at this point. So good luck with that after what we saw from Cam the last couple of years. But it doesn't hurt to try. Hey, it wasn't like their season was going anywhere with Sam Darnold and
I'll be honest, Tom. As somebody with DJ Moore for fantasy, I was happy to see Cam Newton sign with Carolina. I mean, anything could be better than Darnold. I mean, I'll take the shot here with Cam. I knew you knew Darnold wasn't working. I'll take the shot with Cam.
Yeah, it's been trending in a very, very bad direction. Hot start there. So, we'll take anything. Cam was pretty brutal last year, but anything has to be better than Darnold. As I said, I didn't see any of these props for this game. They weren't quite up yet, but I don't know which one. McCaffrey, that would be
McCaffrey's.
What is McCaffrey's numbers at?
62.5 rushing, 39.5 receiving, 106.5 rushing and receiving.
That kind of seems kind of interesting to me.
Yeah,
I mean, he was at 106 last week and he played half the snaps.
The only guy I'm
that's
trusting here is McCaffrey with an over. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I actually kind of like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody else, I would be looking under. I mean, I don't. PJ Walker, I'm seeing his number.
Yeah, forget about it. I'm not betting PJ Walker.
Good luck. Yeah, that's only going to bet unders on the rest of this offense here. McCaffrey's the only under guy on this team right now. So yeah, not much to say on this game. We can move on to the next one.
Eagles at the Broncos. 2.5 is the spread. Denver laying 2.5. 45 the total. Eagles and Broncos. The Eagles pretty healthy here, Tom. I mean, there was some scares with Darius Slay, but he's going to play. And they put together a nice offensive game the last couple of weeks, but we'll see what happens here. 2.5 is the spread. The Eagles catching 2.5. 45 the total.
Yeah, I kind of wish I gave us out at 3 earlier this week with the Eagles. Broncos have some major offensive line issues this week. 3 of their starters are going to be out. Vic Fangio, I think that's we're starting to popping up here on FanDuel. So Vic Fangio isn't going to be able to coach. I think he has COVID, or at least is in protocols.
Oh no, it's Pat Shurmur.
Oh, Pat Shurmur.
The offensive. Oh well, there you
go. That might be a bigger issue then. Losing an offensive coordinator. So that's actually probably worse. Because Vic probably he delegates a little bit for his defensive calls. So not an ideal spot here. It seems like this line is trending. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
maybe it goes off at like 1.5 or something. And now I'm sitting here by myself talking to myself. That's chaos theory. Just looking at some of the props here, Jalen Hurts, 202.5. I mean, he hasn't reached that number in, 3 weeks maybe. Yeah. Oh, wow. He's thrown for under 200 yards in 4 of his last 5 games, Jalen Hurts. Tom, are you back? Are you back? All right, you're back.
Yeah, I've been here.
Oh, okay.
I gave out the Hurts 45.5 rushing yards. I kind of like that. I mean, it just feels like he should be set at like low 50s, mid 50s every week, and
especially with the way they're playing now.
Exactly, yeah. And this game keeps trending towards more of a pick'em. This is a game that they could potentially control. I kind of like it at 45.5. It's a bit higher at DraftKings. I think it was sitting at 48.5, but FanDuel
now it's 47.5.
Okay, so a little bit better number there. So yeah, I mean he's gotten 10 carries in 3 of his last 4 games. So kind of liking that one, and the press. I was hoping Jerry Jeudy's numbers, would come in a little bit better, but the books have cut onto that one pretty quickly. Yeah. They're no longer. We got our Jerry Jeudy plus money on the receptions last week. I think it was 4.5. That was
minus 160 at 4.5 this week, and I think the books have probably also caught on to that. Top outside receivers, no bueno against the Eagles. Short area receivers, very bueno.
Yeah, Cortland Sutton number, it's 47.5. That's certainly the lowest I've seen his receiving yards total so far this year. So, and I would probably only look towards the other. I mean, he hasn't been very active in Jerry Jeudy games. So, I would only look towards the under on Cortland Sutton's props right now.
Seattle and Green Bay. Green Bay is a 3-point favorite at Lambeau. Tom, 49 the total. We're only showing right now Seattle and Green Bay running back props because Aaron Rodgers has not officially cleared the COVID protocol yet.
Yeah, and he kind of laid it out on the McAfee show there earlier. Yeah, he probably going to get cleared, but he still probably has to go through the test to make sure his heart's all right, and he's they do these series of tests to make sure he's ready to play. But that's probably why just that there's a little bit of uncertainty around his status. This line has just been trickling down all week. Now it's sitting at a flat 3 at a lot of places. 3.5s at a lot of there's still some 3.5s out there if you're looking to get on the Seattle side. But yeah, I mean I mean, we got two quarterbacks with a lot of uncertainty around them. I gave out the under 49.5 at the beginning of the week just because these are two of the slowest teams. They really play, kind of plotting styles. And we got Russell Wilson on one side coming back from, major finger surgery, kind of expecting him to, potentially be a little bit rusty. And, they're trending more towards pounding the rock, as Pete Carroll likes to do here in recent weeks anyway. So, and then we got the Rodgers uncertainty. Yeah. I'm anticipating him playing. The books are anticipating him playing. They're still favored here. I guess this probably would go off maybe around a pick 'em if it's Love at quarterback here. I think it would crash another 3 points here. But I did take for props. I did take Russell Wilson's under on a pass attempts 33.5. Well, I thought it was a little bit high. These teams are going to play slow. We know Pete wants to run the ball. He hasn't attempted more than 32 passes in a game.
Chris Carson will not play this week, by the way. Just to throw that out there. He returned to practice but won't play. Okay.
I don't think that really changes much. Alex Collins is still kind of the guy there. They'll have Rashad Penny, Travis Homer, DJ Dallas. So they still have a full backfield. And I think they're going to skew a little bit more run heavy here. First game back for Russell Wilson with that finger injury.
Let's go to Sunday night. Kansas City and Vegas. Vegas at home, 2.5-point underdogs, 52 the total. The news just keeps pouring out. For Vegas, some of it their own doing, others obviously not their own doing. But they're 2.5-point underdogs to the Chiefs, which basically tells you what people think of the Chiefs right now. Any read on this game, Tom?
Man, I've been waiting for it to get to 3 all damn week, and it's just kind of been sitting here at 2.5, juiced up towards the Chiefs. I would love to take the Raiders at +3. I'm sure it's popped a couple times this week, but I'm sure those get gobbled up, and it keeps going back to 2.5. I don't know if it's going to get there by game day. I just don't see the Chiefs having a whole lot of support in the market right now. But I am leaning heavily towards the Raiders side. I will probably give that out as a best bet if we do get some +3s eventually. But so far this week, I'm checking in multiple times a day to see if there's any +3s, and just nothing here. It's all money juiced towards the 2.5 towards the Chiefs, but no +3s out there. So this feels like this line might just stay here all week.
Any props that you like from this one? Tom, I got to be honest. I don't know how you take a Chief receiver over at this point. With the way Mahomes has been playing, the curve. We said earlier in the season we're grading Mahomes on a curve. Now we're not grading him on a curve. He's playing poorly. And you can put the full stop on that. Do I still think he's going to snap out of it? Probably at some point. But I'm not betting any Mahomes overs. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was actually looking at his under pretty hard. It's 287.5. 284.5 it's down to. It was up in the high 80s earlier, 280, high 280s earlier today here, and I almost took that. It must be getting some action towards the under here if it's trickled down a little bit, but I would still look towards the under here. This passing game hasn't looked quite right in multiple weeks at this point. Basically all season it hasn't looked right here. The Raiders props just popped up here the last hour or so. I didn't really get a good look at them. I wanted to take a look at them, but Chiefs, nothing really stood out besides maybe the under on Patrick Mahomes passing yards.
Yeah, and obviously, guys, if you go to fantasypoints.com, Tom, you update the best bets throughout the weekend when you get a prop that you like. And sometimes
we got Graham, we got Paul putting up. There's a lot of good player props. John will put some up on Sunday morning for the late people. So check out the site throughout the next couple of days here to see all the different player props around.
The final game is the Rams at the 49ers. Rams laying 3.5 on the highway. 49 is the total. Tom, we do actually have some props out there for this one, but 3.5, 49 the total. Rams favored in San Francisco.
Yeah, not a big surprise here. 49ers have been a big money loser for everybody. They have one of the worst ATS records in the league, right up there with the Chiefs. So I guess the Rams really weren't penalized for their loss too much against the Titans here. They're up over a field goal favorites here. I'd lean towards the Rams side. I just haven't seen much from this 49ers teams so far this year. I mean, and they've been miserable at home. Haven't covered a spread yet at home. The offense did look, it showed some signs here, getting George Kittle back, Brandon Ayuk, but all of a sudden their defense completely disappeared against Colt McCoy and James Conner last week. That was one of the more shocking performances, just completely laying an egg on defense against, essentially backups from the Cardinals. So, only way I could really look at is probably to the Rams here. I would think that they're just a little bit pissed off of that performance against the Titans on Sunday Night Football last week.
Yeah. Looking at the props, Tom, Cooper Kupp, 96.5. Robert Woods, how about this one? 56.5. So I wonder if the markets or the props have come in low on Robert Woods because of the presence of Odell Beckham Jr. Certainly not coming in low on Cooper Kupp, though.
Yeah, I think they've been kind of sitting in this range for most of the year. I mean, I think sometimes his numbers are in the low 60s, depending on the matchup. But do we feel like Odell's going to play? I guess he did sign on Thursday, so
he's not going to practice today. But I think they're going to use him for a package. I think is what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's something they could do. Get him out there for 5 to 10 plays this week and running a straight line down the field or something. It's something relatively easy. I did take Tyler Higbee under 39.5 receiving yards. It looks like there's a little bit of juice towards the under here. Just the 49ers have been really good against tight ends all season long. Higbee wasn't very impressive last week. He got 10 targets and only got 50 yards out of it last week. So, he's been kind of a disappointment all season here. So, we throw in another body potentially with Odell Beckham, and it's just a terrible matchup against the 49ers, defense here. So, looking at Higbee under 39.5 receiving yards.
All right, Tom, that'll do it for the point spread here. Thanks for everybody here. And Tom's internet decided to rebound here for the end of the show. I want to thank Chris Lee for filling in for Ben Kukanis, who has important life things going on. And congratulations to Ben Kukanis. Chris, thank you so much for posting this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you check us out on fantasypoints.com. Obviously, you've got the promo code down there. I hope you enjoyed which is our flagship DFS show with Scott and Johnny and Graham. I just thank everybody for joining us here on YouTube, and we'll talk to you all next week.